Computer. Hey, Power Consent welcomes John Mohammed. Thank you so much, sir. All right, John, I don't know if you've muted yourself. You're trying to, I thought you planned all of these things up before, brother. All right. Okay, you're good.
1 second, family.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I just want to clear myself.
Brother, we don't know what you're doing, but it's janky now, but you was all right before.
Can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah, we can hear you, so that's good as it is, brother. Don't try and do the Cilla Black music in the background. That don't work, bro. We can hear you nice now.
I'm gonna be playing a lot of I want to play a few videos just testify what I was gonna share with you. So I just want to make sure, but
So
I want to
what you
thank
do, brother, when you share screen, you gotta make sure you press
yeah,
the part where it says share sound.
I want to thank all of you for attending the power of consent, right? And I'm going to say now, right, the power of consent is going to become a powerful movement in this time, right? Because now everybody wants to know, right, their powers and their rights. It's so important to know your powers and rights, right? And this is what we're going to go into today, right? So I want to thank all of you for attendance. I ran this webinar the other day. I got so much demand and interest. I thought, let me come run it for my family. So today's webinar is about the Exodus blueprint, right? And how AI can help you relocate your life and your business out of Europe. And some people might think, oh man, why would I need to relocate, right? Or why Europe? Or what the Exodus is about. And that's what this webinar we're going to break into in the next forthcoming moments. So I want to start with a disclaimer. A disclaimer to say that all the content I share in this webinar, right, is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing shared during this presentation constitutes legal, tax, financial, investment, migration, or professional advice. And any examples or strategies, AI tools, or relocation insights discussed are general in nature, may not be suitable for all of you, they're always just for your individual personal circumstances. So if you choose to implement some of these ideas, information, or suggestions from this webinar, you do so at your own risk and at your own peril and at your own discernment and responsibility. And my team have worked with me diligently to help prepare this presentation today, right? So who am I? I'm John Mohammed. And here's a few things about me. I've been in business development for the last 15 years. I'm the founder and CEO of 5 Star Business Support and another company called SupremeX.ai. I've raised over £50 million in funding in the last 10 plus years. I've helped over 1,000 businesses in the last 15 years, right? And now we're starting to work on IA projects and we're starting to do international overseas projects, all because my passion is to level the playing field of opportunity and help our community build great businesses to create financial freedom. Right. So in the last 20 years, literally, like, I've been working in the dark, like stealth mode. You know what I'm saying? But now is the time where I want to come forward and share some of the information, ideas, and opportunities like we're gonna go through now. Because now is the time. So much crucial stuff is happening, right? And my goal is to build communities. Right. One of the communities that we're building is the power of consent, but we want to create leaders. We don't want you just to be part of the community. We want to create leaders in order to change things, right? And lots of them, so we can serve our community like never before, right? And we've literally got a community building blueprint, right? It's here, right? Especially to build online. My team has done diligently research, right? How we can build strong community platforms, especially using the modern day technology, AI, and all the resources, right? And we're going to be doing that going forth. So even if any of you have got idea, any of your leaders, we can help you do that, right? So at the end of this webinar, if you stay to the end of this webinar, I wanna share with you, right, a few free gifts just by staying to the end of this webinar, and they're going to be very powerful gifts, right? And let me tell you something, right? These are other ways that you can connect with me on my Instagram, my YouTube channel, because I'm gonna start putting out lots of content like what I said. Right now, like we are just on the dawn, right, of 2026. I want you to understand this. 2026 ushers in a new government rule of power and control. So this is a state of emergency webinar. I want you to understand this. 2026 ushers in a new rule of government powers and control. Right. So this was a government control test. Who remembered the 7th September when the government set alert to everybody's mobile phone in the UK? Everybody's mobile phone got alert, like literally without our consent. The government sent alerts, phones was ringing like crazy, right? But this was a panic test to see, you with me, to see how much the government can have effect on people because they have lost it through the last couple of years, right? And the greatest thing the government did, right, the greatest trick they played was problem, reaction, solution, right? Problem, reaction, solution. What did Ostama do, right? He brought all these refugees in the country, right? Knowing that they will create a problem, right? Refugees were breaking into people's houses. Refugees were even raping people, right? They were pillaging the community. Who already knew that they were going to do that, right? And then there's going to be a reaction from the public, right? Everybody was reacting. Organizations were marching. Front England, Britain was marching. And what is the solution? Here we're going to come. Now he's offering the solution, right? So, like I said, this is key, problem, reaction, and solution, which was part of the plan all along, right? Part of the plan all along, right? So, as I said, now we're heading towards a new economic lockdown, right? A new economic lockdown is when the government restricts heavy control of economic activity in a way that limits people's ability to earn, to spend, to move, or to operate freely without the necessity of locking down their homes physically, like a physically lockdown, right? It's not an official term, it's a term that is used where economic pressure becomes a form of control. So here's a great new book that was out there. The COVID, the Great Reset. Then there's this other book what was out, the Great Reset, right? And in the World Economic Forum, right? Mr. Swab, this is stuff that's been planned for many few years, right? So what is the new economic lockdown, right? An economic lockdown happens when the government uses financial, tax, or regulatory measures that make it difficult for individuals to do business or operate, mainly forcing them into a restricted economic behavior. Think about that. It's when money and opportunities get locked down, not people. I say it's when money and opportunities get locked down and not people. I want you to remember that, right? So, what are the signs of an economic lockdown, right? Here's some signs: heavy taxation, new levies. What's been happening? New tax, new corporation tax, digital service tax, taxes on wealth, right? Right now, there's an exit tax if you try to leave the UK. Two, increasing government monitoring, like the new system HMRC Connect, which we're going to talk about, using AI and data tracking. Restricting business regulations, more paperwork, more compliancy. Freezing limited financial movement, the ability to withdraw cash. Even sometimes when I try to withdraw more than £1,000, it gets flagged. I have to go for security. Restricting on moving money abroad, tougher banking rules, right? Heavier scrutiny on transactions, right? Reducing public services, right? And also the middle class being pushed down. These are signs, right? So, so how do we people respond, right? And how an AI is increasing the economic lockdown is the government is using AI tools, right, to track financial activity and enforce them across banking, utility, payroll, crypto, and travel data. And this creates a digital economy lockdown, not by force, but like we always say, by the power of consent, by data. And it's so important to understand that. So why do people respond with an exodus? Exodus means leaving. As taxes and regulations increase and monitoring entires, right? More individuals and entrepreneurs, they look for better places to live, like lower tax countries, easier business environments, better quality of life, less government control, and this leads to an exodus movement where thousands of people, right, start to leave, right? And this also happens in the animal kingdom, right? So this is natural human behavior. When animals move in large groups over distance, it's called a migration. This is normally seasonal, right? I want you to understand, and often involves thousands of animals in critical survival stage, right? They move to find better food, to breed, to give birth, and escape harsh weather conditions, right? And this is like what's going to happen, escaping harsh economic conditions, right? So we all share the same thing, right? So and this is happening now, right? This is happening now, right now. The Great Exodus is actually happening right now. The Great Reset, right? So this is a sign of it, right? Because HMRC spent over £8 billion approximately to build the HMRC Connect system. It's so intrusive, right? And what is the HMR Connect system and what does it do? The HMRC Connect is a government advanced data matching analytical system designed to detect hidden income, undeclared assets, tax evasion, financial inconsistencies. It works by automatically pulling data from 30 public and private databases, right? Cross-checking everything against individuals and businesses and reporting to HMRC. Just think about that, right? And the algorithm of AI can spot any unusual behavior. So let's see, right? Right? So here are some of the 15 data sources that the HMRC Connect are going to pull from to show you that you're going to be affected, right? Banks and financial institutions, your current accounts, your savings accounts, your interests, right? Credit card companies, land registry, estate agent records when you go to rent or buy a property, stamp duty, DVLA if you own a car, airline passenger records when you travel, border control, travel logs, employment records, right? Employment records, self-assessment tax, WDP, benefits and pension, government house, a company's house, utility companies, gas, electric, broadband, local councils. Everybody pays council tax and business rates, right? Or may not. Cryptocurrency, online platforms like Airbnb, insurance companies, foreign bank accounts, school fees. And aren't we all affected with social media? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So just imagine how powerful that system will be, right? The government's pulling all these data sources and building a big national database called the HMRC Connect to monitor us and monitor our data, right? So I want to. Now you're gonna see, right? So what is this producing? This is producing a new digital tax state, right? The rise of a new digital tax state. So we've gone from physical lockdowns, like we had a few years ago, to financial lockdowns, right? And over the last few years, government across Europe have shifted this mode, right? We're going from physical to now financial lockdowns. 2026 is going to be the year of the financial lockdown, right? It's going to restrict movement, tighter control by monitoring bank accounts, digital payments, crypto, online platforms, property records, social, everything, right? So it's going to be real harsh, right? So the freedom that you have, you're not going to have it no more, right? So what can we do about this? I don't want you to live in fear, right? I want you to be smart about it. So we can use tools that can increase our financial intelligence to understand how the tax system works so we don't get caught off guard. We can use AI tools and tax forecasting tools, which we're going to talk about. We need to diverse our income streams. We need to explore global residency options. Remember that, I'm coming back, right? Places where there's lower surveillance, lower tax, and more freedom, right? We need to consider relocation or company migration, right? Or moving our business or companies to another jurisdiction, another country. We need to use stronger digital privacy practices, which the power of consent is all about protecting your data online, right? Courtney has emphasized this over a million times, right? And now there's a reason, right? We need to stay compliant and strategic, right? We need to build location independent income. That means your income's not dependent on the location. Like one job is so important, right? And we need to leverage professional tax advice and also adapt AI for our own financial freedom and sovereignty, which I'm going to show you how, right? So this is the saving grace. I've partnered with Justina to develop a new AI accounting platform to help us overcome these issues. This is the platform, right? Because the government has changed it, right? From next coming year, you won't be able to do your self-assessment, your loan, or you can't go to a specific company. You have to go to a company with certification authorization. So right now we're putting in for the authorization so we can do that for our community, right? This is so crucial. And we've already saved so many people fines from company's house, because you know we don't open our letters and stuff like that. We might open a company, but open a company also comes with responsibilities, which a lot of us are not fully aware, right? So one of the free gifts I'm going to give you is this free guide, right? It's going to show you the new way how to file accounts, whether it be a social enterprise, business, self-employed, or got a CIC, right? And Justina has 10 years of corporate governance. That's why we're bringing all the expertise and we're going to develop this AI platform, right? And we're going to show you later on how AI is going to be a transformational experience and we have to start adapting it, right? So another sign, right, is the brick card, right? All this stuff is creeping in slowly. So what is the brick card? The brick card is a digital identity card, right? Like you see, which is going to be rolled out across the UK on your mobile phone. Just imagine your mobile phone's going to be like a device, right? And the brick card is a UK digital ID identification what is stored on smartphones to allow users to prove their identity. Just imagine that for things like right of work, government services. Oh my days, right? And it's going to be mandatory, right? So this is why I want you to take the power of consent, right, so serious, because we're going to start lobbying the government, right, pooling our resources, coming together and saying bond that government. You see what I'm saying? We only can do that when we are unified source, right? So I want you to understand, right, the brick card, OMG, right? It's going to be changing, right? So how does the brick card, right? How does it connect with the economic lockdown, you might think, right? So introducing the brick card, right, is a shift towards the new digital tax state where financial and personal freedom become increasingly controlled by data. Just imagine that. I said it again, financial and personal freedom become increasingly controlled through data, right? The brick card is going to link your identity to and your financial activity and public services and unify it into a digital profile. So deep, right? The brick card will centralize your identity and your financial footprint, which will allow automatic monitoring of transactions, everything, right? You know what I'm saying? So now this is the foundation of a cashless surveillance economy, right? Like we all saw in the films, now it's coming. So what does this new digital ID mean, right? Just to give some light on emphasize this, right? It's related to the new government identity scheme, which we're going to talk about. But just to understand, this is part of a long-term plan to create a fully digital identity system for every citizen and resident in the UK, right? The system is designed to eventually connect with tax records, benefits, housing, DVLA, healthcare, immigration, education, banking verification, and business services, right? So what does this actually mean, right? It's like one identity to control everything, right? Centralized identity is so important, right? So I want you to understand, right? And if this was not enough, right? It goes on, right? It reduces your autonomy of financial transactions. Digital ID plus digital payments equals traceable spending. Now, you don't want the government to know everything, but now they're going to be able to trace every spend and track every penny. Also, it makes enforcement automatic, right? Automatic fines? No more fighting a bailiff. Account freezes, delays in payment, benefit sanctions.
Brother. Sorry. Real quick. That's important. Sorry, I have to just cut in there real quick. Brother, do people understand and realize that we're coming into a age where there's not going to be any police on the road, and that you don't need enforcement debt collectors knocking on the door anymore for TV license, council tax, for example. They'll immediately or automatically dock it from one's account because we've consented. Remember, we showed you the ChatGPT version template letter to send a privacy letter or notice. See, this is where it's going now. Black Mirror 2.0, you know, Demolition Man, Minority Report, science fiction film. Sorry, John, go ahead.
So, so OMG, right? So it's going to create dependency on a digital infrastructure. Just imagine that. It's going to create dependency on a digital infrastructure, right? Which is OMG. So well, the world won't be the same, right? So this is why now you might start to think, rah, what's John talking about at Exodus? At Exodus. So, right, it will set up a stage for programmable money. Programmable money, right? CBDs, right? When central bank digital currency, right? When you can spend in your money, right? So you can't even control where you spend your money once we go to digital money, right? This is all coming, right? So this is going to create major changes, right? I want you to understand this, right? It's going to create major changes, right? It's going to give HMRC more power, more income, more spending, more travel control, more asset control, right? So it's getting serious, right? And here's another sign, right? As of 10th November, right? I don't know if you was aware, but yesterday everybody was rushing for Companies House to register stuff because we're moving from the old government gateway account. Who's got a government gateway account? A government gateway account was the way how to monitor people through government services. And now we're going to the government UK one account. I want you to say the government has not said nothing to you about this, right? But this is how it looks, right? Create your government one account. Anytime, right, you hear from DVLA, Companies House, right, benefits, job seekers, any service to create, right, the government one account, think twice, right? Because no one's saying what the government one account is, but we're going to break down now what the government one account is coming in under a secret, right? And this is going to be the beginning. So what is a government one account, right? What is a government account? The government one account, right, is unifies the digital identity system. I'll say that again, right? So they're not talking about telling you broadly. No, they're just going to say, all right, if you want to do business now, go, you need a government one account. Like I was going to Company House now. If you want to set up Company House now, I'm going to come to that, right? If you want to do stuff, you're going to have to open up a government one account, right? The government one account login is the government's new unified digital identity system that allows people to access multiple government services with one single login instead of separate logins, right? Into tax, HMRC, benefits, driving license, immigration, DBS, check this out, NHS, your own health records, student finance, business services, right? Don't this sound familiar when they try to force us to have the COVID injection? If we don't do that, you can't work, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is following a suit, right? The one account lets users, right, verify their identity, passport scans, driving license scans, biometric matching, bank account checks, credit reference data, and phone verification. All right, this is deep. This is deep, right? You see what I'm saying? Because like this is one of the ways how they're gonna get people, right? And is it related to the new government identity scheme? Absolutely yes, right? The UK government one account login is the foundation. Remember this, it's the foundation of the UK's new identity digital scheme. Wait, now you tell me, have you heard about the government one account on social media? Have you heard about it on the news? Have you heard about it on the press? Where have you heard about it? Why ain't nobody talking about it? But how come secretly, if you want to go like incorporate a company now, do anything going forward, they're going to force you to get this government one account. Let me remind you, right? It's the foundation of UK's new digital identity scheme, right? This is the trap. This is why we got to use our community, right? The power of consent to give our consent, or at least have a choice what we consent to, right? Not automatically forced, right? The government has openly stated that the goal is to create a unified identity that works across all UK departments. Total control, right? This means, in practice, one identity controls everything. Remember the mark of the beast? One single digital ID will determine access to government services, financial services, travel services, employment checks. Just imagine that you want to go and get a job, licensing and registration, more centralized data sharing. Who's controlling all that data? Increased financial transparency, combining the HMRC with strength of the digital tax system, right? Enabling easier income tracking, faster investigations, and automatic fines and compliance. Imagine that, right? In simple words, like I said, the government one account is the new digital identity system. It connects your identity to all government services and it's the foundation for more digital control, more autonomy, and more potential surveillance of people's financial activities, right? You're gonna know, oh, why do they want to control people's financial activities? We're gonna come to that, right? So, like I said, this is a new form of control that's happening, right? And it's gonna be mandatory. It's going to be mandatory, right? So we want to challenge that, right? So going back to the Exodus, last year it says this diagram 9,500 people left the UK. These are all different people leaving, like Europe. 15,000 millionaires are going to leave the UK this year, are in the process of leaving. 15,000 million. Think of that number, right? Next year, 50,000 people are going to leave. Our exodus is happening, whether you like it or not. So you're going to be, you got the choice, right? So the exodus, like I said, is started, but even the scripture talked about it. My Lord said to Moses, go, Pharaoh. He said, let my people free so they may serve me. So literally, this is what's happening, right? Just like the scripture talked about the Exodus, this Exodus is really happening. Right now, there's a secret exemption, right? This is the secret exemption, right? It's called the 183-day rule, right? Yeah, I want you to understand, right? The 183-day rule. It's called the non-dom secret, right? And thousands of millionaires are fleeing UK using this non-dom secret called non-domicile, right? So let's break it down, right? This is a secret exception. So people like Lewis Hamilton use this. You see what I'm saying? Multi-millionaires use this rule, right? Because they don't want to be paying tax. That means they live half of the year outside of the UK. You with me? So the non-domicile individual is when someone lives in the UK but is not considered and permanently tied to the UK under UK law. Think about that. Think about that, right? You live in the UK, but you're not permanently tied. This is what Lewis Hamilton, all the wealthy people do. But your permanent home, your domicile, is in another country, right? Some of you might think, oh, but it's difficult, man. I don't want to up and leave. So this is one of the secret rules that you got to execute. You with me? You got to be like in the country half of the year out, but you have another house overseas. You with me? This is and this is basically the 180 rules is where you spend 183 days or more in the UK in a tax year, but you're automatically UK tax resident whether you're not, right? So this is, and then basically there's a specific method, a statutory residue test that you have to take to in order for it to apply, right? But like I said, our accounting platform, AI accounting platform that we're developing is going to roll out people to help them with the rules and regulations so they can execute stuff like the 183-day rule. Because this is going to be one of your saving graces, right? So it's not that you're left alone, right? You've got help, right? So like this is a test, like I said, right? And our AI platform is going to help you pass this test for those of you who want a semi-exodus, right? So what are your exodus option countries? What the opportunities, right? There's Africa. A lot of people now I know are migrating to Ghana, Gambia, Nigeria, all these African countries. Some people are migrating to the Caribbean. A lot of people are migrating to Dubai or even setting up a business there so they can be they have the business relocated there Thailand, North America, and places like Mexico. These are your options, right? If you never, ever, 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 ever thought about that in your whole entire life, right? Now it's going to be the time to think, oh, right, man, all these things are happening. You don't have to put up with it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm here to tell you your options, you know what I'm saying? And how you can work around it, right? So, family, right? I wanna say, right, we were once a great people.
They told you you was born in chains, but look round you. You the memory. You the return. This ain't no fairy tale kingdom. This is Atlantis.
Every mark, every site, built by our hands. Now they listening, the grid hearing us again.
This ain't no myth, bro. These sites, they talking, grid reactivating, and it only responds to us.
This whole realm is the real Atlantis. And baby, we never left.
We broke the law of the land, so the land broke us. Gaia, she was hurt. We betrayed the source, so now the Titans responded.
Y'all still don't get it, huh? They ain't built nothing. But now, I'm gonna make the European tell it.
Beautiful, aren't they? See, my ancestors, we didn't build these empires, we took them. We took the knowledge, the symbols, the legacy.
But the irony? It's still theirs, no matter how many flags we raise.
You see, we didn't build this, we acquired it.
We set out to destroy the originals and their history, to erase them. We laid genocide upon genocide, burned the bloodlines to ash, those crowned in light, their shamans and healers, hung, drowned, labeled witches. And in their place, we painted ourselves the savior.
The truth can only be buried for so long. The Vatican must speak.
Before our so-called dominion, there were the originals, and their flame still burns.
They didn't lose it all. They gave it away. Some of their own Moorish blood sold them out. Gold for titles, secrets for seats at new tables.
And let it be known, not all with dark Moorish skin carry the same light as the original.
Oh man, I wanted to stop there, right? Because the secret is that we're still sleeping giants, right? So that's why I wanted to go in to use the power of AI just to show you what we were great. If we was great before, no matter what's happening in the world, right, we're gonna be great again, right? So the reason our parents came here, right? Think about it, right? We're here in England, but the reason why our parents came here was in the late 1940s to 70s, thousands of black people came from the Caribbean and Africa to rebuild the economy, right? And we worked after the Second World War, you see what I'm saying? We worked in the system, the hospitals, the industries, the local economies. We were building up the system, but this is where wealth was. Think about it. Wealth was in Europe in the last 100 years. That's why our parents came here. You see what I'm saying? But guess what, fam? Times are changing. Times are changing, right? And change happens every 100 years. Change happens every 100 years. And Ray Dalio, a billionaire worth $15.4 billion, right? He's the CEO and American hedge fund manager of Bridgewater Associates. And he wrote this awesome guide. This is another free guide I'm going to give to you, right? He wrote this awesome guide called Changing World Order. The changing world order, principles of dealing with the changing world order. So let's see. I've just picked a few gems from his book just to show you, right? This is the rise and fall of enemies, right? Coming from the book. Diagram 1. In the 1600s, right, Dutch stock market was established and established as capitalism, right? Then we go on to the 1800s, right, when the revolution happened, right? Then in the 19th, right? And that's where in the 19th and 19,000, like 19,000, 1970, that's where our parents came to build the economy, right? And then it rose, right? And you can see, right, the GBD, right? Diagram number 2, the life expectancy, right? Look at these, what we had. The flu in 1557, we had the influenza pandemic, right? Then we had the flu outbreak in the 1700. Then we had the third plague, right, around the 1900. Then we had the Spanish around flu, around, you know what I'm saying? All up to present, we had the COVID-19. So I want to say every 100 years, right, it's like there's a cleansing, things happen, right? And this diagram 3, right, is what actually happens from the 15th century. Imagine, from conflicts, national disasters, right? Just imagine, right? From the 15th century, right, we had this pandemic. The 16th century, just imagine the Chinese, the Ming Dynasty. The Ming Dynasty were running things. Imagine in the 16th century, the Ming Dynasty, the Chinese, they were running things, right? Then we had the Spanish War recession in the 1700. Then we had Napoleon Wars, right? Then we had the Spanish flu, like we said. And then we had China. Then we had the rise of HIV and COVID, which eliminated so many billions of people, right? So this is the rise and fall of economies. All this came from one guy's team of research, right? So also he said this is what happens, right? In 100-year periods. Look, the Dutch had 100 years of rule. Think about that, right? And this handover period is when the new order started. It takes around 10 to 20 years. Then after that, the British ruled for 100 years. Like in the same time scales, right? I said Dutch 1600, British 1800. Then after that, there was a handover period, right? A new world order. Then America, as you see it right now, ruled for 100 years, family, right? This is what this billionaire is writing, right? Then after that, China, right? They're rising right now. China's a superpower, right? They're going to rule. That right now, there's a change of power, right? But guess after China, who's coming? Africa, right? Check it, Africa, right? After Africa's going to rule for eternity. Imagine all these people turns of power on rule and fall of empires. You see what I'm saying? And don't forget, Chinese, they were running things in the 1600s with the Ming Dynasty. But then it took them another 400 years to come back into power. Think about that. Wasn't we running things? I just showed you videos where we was dominating the earth, right? You know what I'm saying? Even though we fell from grace, after 100 years, starting from now, Africa is rising, right? We're the next to rise. I'm not making this up. This billionaire documented that. This is history, right? This is so profound. So I don't want you to think that, oh man, it's never. And even he went further to say, right, in every cycle, right, there's these things: prosperity, debt growth, then a bubble, then currency reserve, income and rise, restrictors, financial economic turn down, printing of money, which happened, revolutionary wars, where we now, we're right here. Debt and political restructuring. What's happening now? That's happening right now. And after that, the New World Order, right? This happens, right? This billionaire wrote this document and his team researched it every 100 years, right? And here's another document, right? This is all coming from his incredible guides. He's informing all the people. In every new order, world order, right? What starts the strong leadership. What's happening in Africa right now, right? With Burkina Faso, Abraham Traore. Strong leadership is rising in Africa, starting with 4 people, right? 4 countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, but it starts. Then what's going to happen? Inventiveness, then education, then strong culture, then good resources. He just kicked out of France. When he kicked out of France and claimed the resources, France's economy collapsed, right? Then strong income growth, right? This is the trend. So just imagine that, right? This is happening right now as we play out, right? I want you to understand the rise and fall of economies, empires, right? Written by Ray Dalio is so profound, right? So we're leading somewhere, right? So I'm going to show you the story of how African rise just by this one example, right? Dubai in the last 50 years is the fastest civilization to grow, right? What can we learn from this, right? So from the 1800s, right? I want to show you the power of strong men and unity of a family. From the 1800s, right? This great grandfather, the Sheikh, right? He united the Arabs' land. It was all divided. He united all the lands. Just imagine, he united all the land and put it under one dynasty, right? After he united the land, the next grandfather came, right? He came in 1894 to, this is one family to build on top of that, right? In the early 1833, early development, right, of the actual rulers. They were developing, they were ruling, they were unifying the lands. And then afterwards, the son of that, the grandfather, right, came this guy, right? Sheikh Sin, right? From 1958, right? I want you to understand from 1950, that was a few years ago, right? But it was still, Dubai was still nothing, right? But what happened? They had an oil discovery. Just think about it. They had an oil discovery recently in 1966. Right now, they just discovered oil in Uganda. They discovered minerals in Ghana. The same thing's happening. So I want you to parallel this story, right? They discovered oil discovery, but they couldn't mine the oil themselves. So they done a deal with America, right? America owned 80% of the oil. Imagine 80% of the oil. So Dubai started to make some money. And the money was mainly going to the families, right? Mainly going to the families, right? So the family, they were making money, but the people were still poor, right? And then afterwards, one of the brothers, right? The father, he was assassinated, right? Imagine that. And then the older brother this guy's older brother took over, right? And when this guy's older brother took over, they started building slowly. But the younger brother, this guy here, Sheikh Mohammed Ibn, right? He had the heart of the people. He had the heart of the people. He said, I want to grow my economy. I want to grow my country. So what he did, when his brother became ill, his brother went to America to get medicine. And then he stayed there. He kept him there. And afterwards, his goal was to take 100% ownership of the resources, the oil in Dubai, because he knew that's the only way he can control Dubai, right? So the Middle War started. Think about that. The Middle War started. They still owned 80%. America still owned 80% of the oil. But what the young brother said, he said, no, what we're gonna do, since you're not giving us 50%, right? We're gonna freeze oil. They froze oil consumption. Oil went everywhere up. So then America came back and said, all right, we're gonna give you 50%. So there was a 50-50 partnership. Imagine, they were a 50-50 partnership. Afterwards, the brother knew if he was going to be total ruler, have total freedom and sovereignty for his people, right, and his country, he needs 100% ownership of his resources in Dubai. Don't that sound familiar like Africa? 100% resources. So from then, what he did, he went back, he starved the oil production, right, and went back to America and said, no, we want 100%, him and his top economists. And because there was no, they were in a war, America agreed and gave them 100% ownership of their resources and their oil. Think about that, right? Africa can't be free until we have 100% ownership of our resources, right? So once he took 100% ownership of his resources, he started to build. He built all these he built Dubai Mall, he built Dubai Airport, he built the Palm Jumeirah. He started bringing all these experts and started building because all the wealth of the oil was in the country. Imagine that. And now to this day, right? To this day, where he made Dubai, and Dubai is like one of the wonders of the world in the sense that how they grew in such a period of time, and it's brand new, all because this one leader had a heart, right? So when we look at Africa, right, who do you see have a heart of leadership now? And that's similar to Burkina Faso, Abraham Tory. You see what I'm saying? I want you to understand this, right? So with all that going on, right, after I said all that so far, right, I want you to understand the reason why most of this financial economic lockdown is happening, because we are in the greatest wealth transfer in the history, right? And this was written in Vanguard. That's why the government have to control things economically. That's why there have to be an economic lockdown, because there's going to be an explosion of wealth like never before. Never in history of the mankind, right, is going to be an opportunity just because of AI for people to become rich. So the government want to lock it down before that, right? So let's go into how we are, knowing that, going to use the power of AI to generate wealth and freedom. Are you with me, family, right? This is where we take a turn, right? After all what's happening, right? How we're going to use the power of AI to generate wealth and freedom. right? Like I said, we're in the greatest wealth transfer that's ever happening. That's why the government want to do all this stuff, right? So here are some tools of freedom and sovereignty. This is going to be essential for all of you. If you want to maintain your freedom and sovereignty, you're going to need these tools that I'm going to recommend you, right? So first of all, we're going to build a framework for financial sovereignty, right? True freedom comes from controlling your income, your assets, and your identity. Remember, through data-driven AI-assisted decision-making, right? This is how we're flipping the script. And we're saying, bond Babylon, bond all that new identity stuff. You with me? And here are 4 pillars of financial sovereignty. Number 1, financial sovereignty, understanding how your money and data moves. Number 2, location sovereignty, your ability to live and register where your values align with your goals, right? Number 3, asset sovereignty, diversifying your digital assets and decentralized finance, since it's going to be controlled using AI-powered portfolios, right? Number 4, identity sovereignty, controlling your personal data and digital identity. I'll repeat it again. Identity sovereignty, controlling your personal data and digital identity, right? Tools and systems that will help support this. It's AI-powered tax calculators, platforms like we're developing, global residency comparison tools and options, which I'm going to show you, DeFi dashboards, smart contracts, tokenized assets, which we're going to go into, right? This is going to give you a clear path, right, for your own independence and financial sovereignty, right? So we're just warming up, right? One of the things that I'll recommend, right, who many of you might never heard, is a world passport, right? It's best to get this now, because when this gets out, right, you're going to be waiting so long. Thousands of people are going to rush to get this world passport, right? This is a secret source, right? I'm saying it, right? What is the world passport? The world passport can be referred of one of 2 things. A world government passport, which is a non-national identity document issued by the World Service Authority, right? That's why sometimes some governments are not recognizing it at the moment, but some governments are. But it gives you the ability to, as a visa-free travel, such as places like Singapore and other countries, right? This is a neutral identity document. Imagine that, right? How many of you heard of that? And this document is like, I think like £60, $60, right? But stuff like this is going to become a tool for your strength. Another document is a secondary passport. I don't think you understand me. Whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're from Africa, you need to have a secondary passport so you can do some 007 traveling, right? Because remember, the UK are locking down the borders. They're locking down the passport system. So how are you going to get out of the country? You need to be able to flip your passport like you're flipping a stack of cards. You see what I'm saying? And now African countries, even if you're not from there, they're issuing passports. They're given sovereignty. They're given nationality. You with me? Those of you who have parents still alive, if you have the option, contact them, because sometimes you need your parents, and stuff like that to help you get a secondary passport, man. This is so fundamental and important, right? Do it now, because time is coming when you will not be able to have this opportunity, right? I cannot overemphasize this, right? Another thing is, right, a wise account, right? Remember, right, a wise account. What is a wise account? A wise account is a multi-currency debit card and bank account that lets you spend and hold money over 40 different currencies, almost in like 40 countries with no hidden markup, right? You're going to need this, right? You're going to need to move your money and move from one currency to another country. Remember, they're locking down the banking system, right? You can get a personal bank account and you can get a business bank account. But this card is going to be one of your saving graces, because if you're trusting Barclays, Santander, Monzo, Revolut, you're going to be fried like a cookie. You see what I'm saying? But having accounts like this give you more freedom and more sovereignty, right? Another thing is, like those of you want to think about getting an American Express card for free travel, right? If you're up to 90,000 points, you can travel anywhere in the world for free. Why am I saying this, right? Because rather than use cash, you want to start using credit as a weapon of freedom and empowerment, because most of you are paying rent, utilities. You're paying utilities, you're paying transport costs, you're paying entertainment, you're paying groceries fees and other expenses, right? If you all put that on your American Express card, right, every single day you start to be able to travel for free. Are you hearing me? You're going to start to be able to travel for free because you're using the credit system, right? So another thing is crypto wallets, right? You're going to need them, right? It's going to be so important, right? To have crypto, to move your money around, right? This is a number of fundamental tools. All these are tools of empowerment, what I'm telling you, right? I'm hoping you take heed, right? So now, how can we use the power of AI to create economic liberty and freedom? And how can we reverse the trend and win? This is what this later part of this webinar is about, right? So there we are heading, right? We are heading towards a one-person billion-dollar company. I'm going to say that again. In the next 18 months, right, we are heading towards a one-person billion-dollar company, right? Already, the owner of ChatGPT, Facebook, Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, they're already knowing that. They're looking who's going to be the next. First of all, it's going to be 10 people to hit a billion-dollar status, right, in revenue for their company. After the 10 people, it's going to be a one-person company using AI to generate $1 billion. Think about that. Think about that, right? Because if you understand this one concept, you're going to understand why the government now wants to lock down things economically. It's because of AI, right? AI is creating incremental. Before, to create a billion-dollar company, you used to have like at least 10,000 employees. Now we're moving to a time where just with 10 people can create a billion-dollar company. And in the next 18 months, we're going to move where one person will be able to have like a 500 to 1,000 agents working for them, AI agents, and create a one-person billion-dollar company. Think about that for a second, right? Just think about that for a second. Are you with me, Courtney?
Yes, brother. I'm still here with you.
So how
We'll
is this?
open up for question and answers in a short moment or two, people.
So how is this going to be possible, right? This has changed the game, right? Leverage code and media, right? Leverage code has become the new power base because before we couldn't really code, and media was the form of distribution. Here's another billion-dollar entrepreneur, Navi, who says just by using these two forms of leverage, right, you will amass millions and trillions of powers that we could not do 40 years ago, right? So look at all these platforms: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, YouTube. All these people are billionaires through code. They're billionaires through code, right? And now AI has given the power, right, where ordinary people can have the same advantage. And before, Silicon Valley used to control, right, all right, who becomes a billionaire. But now through AI, ordinary people have the same advantage, right? So this is how Africa and Caribbean need our help, right? It's clear, right? These are a list of industries we can help, right? Develop innovative technology and applications using the power of AI. We've got agriculture, healthcare, education, financial services, renewable energy, transportation, water sanitation, housing and construction, tourism and culture, crave industries, manufacturing, right? Public services, right? Like I said, Africa's a growing economy, right? Food and hospitality, waste management. The opportunities are endless. So if we're using AI to develop applications, right? Phenomenal things are happening, right? And here are some examples, right? Of applications and how we built AI, right? Just ourselves in the last 6 months, right? We couldn't do this before. We built a credit repair platform. We built an AI agent that helps develop AI agents and put codes on websites. We built an e-com platform, right, to help people make money with e-com. We're building an accounting platform, right? We built a content platform, right? All in the space of 6 months, right? So I'm just going to show you an example, right? So this is an example, right, of our AI platform, right? It's all to do with how we use AI to repair credit. So we just changed the whole game, right? We couldn't do this a few months ago. I'd have to spend like £50,000 on developers to do this stuff, right? Now we developed it with the power of AI. So I'm going to give you an example, right? This is our dashboard. So when I'm talking about a utility and using developed AI, right? Here's an example, right? I come into the dashboard, right? I upload a credit score. I go to Experian, upload it, right? Once I upload it, it comes here, it scans, AI scans the credit file, right? Your credit report. Then you get action plan. This generates an action plan, right, from your credit report. Then after, it gives you dispute letters, right? I can come in here and say, I want to dispute my Barclays, right? What's the type of dispute? It's a debt account that's not mine. AI does all of that, right? Creates the letters, generates the letters. Then after that, it even helps negotiate your debts. Just imagine that, right? So here we have final settlement, debt agreement plan. We even have sample scripts, right? Call scripts to call up and say, all right, no, I want to set up my Barclays. No, this is what me. I want to settle up this letter, right? Payment plan requests, right? All done with AI, right? And a debt calculator to calculate, right? Then we have credit building tools, right? We couldn't do this before, right? I can say now, all right, come in here. We recommend this account, apply for it. There's tricks and trades, right? How it improves your credit. You see what I'm saying? We couldn't do this before, family. We've even
John, hold on. You see, the chat is on fire right now. But let me tell you, we see, this is facts, people. See, we don't just talk. There's solutions. We got solutions. Some of us are too focused on the problem. And you are whatever you pay attention to. Pay attention to the solutions. We've got this year, 2026. Come on now, John. I know the link in the chat.
Yeah, we got Education Hub teaching. This is all AI, right? Now we can speak to the AI, ask it a question. It'll tell us anything that we want to do, right? And not only that, most people pay bills late. So we set up notification preferences, right? What notifications that you do to remind you to pay your to remind you to pay your O2 bill on time, remind you to pay this specific bill on time. You get an email notification. Ain't that heavy? All AI driven, right? One person can run this whole entity. This is an example. So I'm not just talking. We can have 1,000 people on here. One person is running this, right? Not only that, a lot of people suffer from CFAS, right? We've got CFAS support. Sometimes CFAS happens, right? If someone done think bad in your credit, you're banned from the financial system, or you might have done some fraud later on. Then you get CFAS, right? We even got a system to challenge CFAS, right? We got letters, we got templates, right? Like formal sus evidence requests, right? AI does all of this, right? You know what I'm saying? How we can escalate it, right? I'm not even joking, right? Then we've got credit repair coaching, AI teaching you different stuff, right? With goals and objectives, right? This is how we're using AI. So just imagine if your credit is immaculate, right? What can you do? If your credit is immaculate, what power do you have to do? You can buy a house, you can get a car, you can start living. You see what I'm saying? You with me? So this is just an example, one platform, right, that we built. You see what I'm saying? Using AI, right? And we're going to build like 100 platforms like this. So why am I saying this? This is another e-com platform we built to help people with e-com businesses make money. And it's the AI doing all the work, right? 80 to 95% of the work, right? Here's another platform that I'm going to come to, right? Where is it? That we built, right? Oh my days, this platform is so gangster, right? This is a secret platform, right? Many of you don't know, right? There's hidden cities, right? If you want to travel, right? Sometimes on the internet, right? There's travel errors. So you might book to go to Dubai for £10. This platform will find the error. You put your location in, right? And you can travel in Jamaica for £30, £50. It's tracking the error, right?
Wow.
We track, right?
Sure.
Even like currency plays, right? Some people, you just go and check your flights in the UK. So we come in here, we can flip it and say we're in Brazil, and we get like 50% off the same flight. AI doing this.
Wow.
Calendar arbitrage, right? Finding the cheapest places just by measuring your calendar. Sorry, you can't do this on standard Skyscanner, right? These are AI hacks. I'm scanning the algorithm 24. Hey, let me stop there, right? I'm telling you, right? It's only the beginning, right? So let me go back to what I was saying, right? Everybody with me so far, right? So these are a few ways I want to show you, right, how we're using the power of AI, right? So with that said, right, like I said, right, I was gonna do a live demo, right? We don't have much time, so I want to show you how I just put a prompt into GPT to guide me, right? And then what I did do, right, I developed this tool where also you're gonna get access to, right? So I developed this tool. This is the global residency tool. Let me see if I can find it, right? The global residency tool, right? This tool, let me see if it renews. This tool will help you find the best places, right? Let me just go in here. The best places to migrate to, right? It's going to help you find the best places, right? So, like I said, we developed this, right? So here you put your tax efficiency, how much you want, right? Your living costs, your safety, your climate, right? And I go to next, right? And then basically it's going to come back, right? I'm going to just quickly tick these boxes, what I'm looking for in that country, right? What matters the most, quality of education if you've got your children, remote work, right? And it's going to come back and tell you a list, right, of all the places where you can go, even places with got visas. Oh my days, even places we've got visas, right? Like it's giving me a whole list. I can apply for this visa if I want to go here. I can apply for this visa. And also, we programmed it even if you don't need it, if you don't want a visa places, and there's 19 programs found, right? This is the power of AI. You see what I'm saying? Why am I saying this, right? I'm saying like AI, right, if used them correctly, right, will change our lives. This is why all this stuff is happening, right? This is why all this stuff is happening. So like I said, right, to help empower people to do that, right, we're going to have a 6-week program, right, to teach people how to create their own applications, utilities. It's going to be an incubator. We want to work with you because we want you to start developing applications in countries like Africa. So you're not having an income what's dependent on one location. It will be so important, right? And this is some of the stuff what the 6 weeks are going to cover, right? It's going to cover all different aspects of how we build a platform. And many people can build a platform, but it's knowing how to market it, right? And then we're going to have like a 2-day mastermind weekend in Cannes or Monaco as well, right? So I'm just going to say, for those people who are interested, right, you can just go to supremix.start, right? Put your interest there, right? It's going to be so powerful. We're going to help you, right? I've even got utilities, right? Or apps were built to help you go and raise money. Before, when we was doing funding applications, like I said, we raised over 60 million, right? My team used to take like 2 or 3 weeks. Now they do a funding application with an agent in an hour. So there's another tool that I'm going to give you. It's another tool that I'm going to give you, right? So on that calendar, you just come here, you just choose, and you'll speak to one of our consultants, and they will say, all right, what do you want to do? How do you want to grow? You can have a one-to-one with them. You see what I'm saying? To think about a strategy. If you want to migrate, what are your options and how you can most importantly generate income with AI, right? That's so important, right? So if you don't, you can do for self, or you're going to suffer the consequences, right? This webinar has been a good guide to help you make the right decision.
Here we go. Right.
Told my people they were Africans. You denied the Ameru nation. Your nationality card is fraud.
He's taken another one.
We need control before this spreads.
You can't control him.
For the love of God, listen to Shaki, or we lose everything!
Shaki! 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 Shaki!
You're gonna get this work.
Shaki!
Come get this work. The hell is that thing? Shaki. The original Confederates were black. That flag does not belong to you.
Light him up! Shoot it!
Where'd it go? I go where the ancestors call, and they don't want you here.
Open fire!
They buried the truth. They thought it would stay hidden.
Who's there? Show yourself!
But history has a guardian.
It's a doll! You have to be kidding me!
Whatever it is, it took out 2 senators in 48 hours.
His name is Shaki.
Grenada fell right here in New Mexico. The term African American is a scam invented to steal our birthright. Your time is up, Professor.
Your history is fake. The indigenous are the Asiatics.
There you go.
Security.
I require no treaty.
I require the tithe of your illusion. Now, come here.
What are you? This is not a church, Father. This is Rome's corporate headquarters. You teach from the Vatican's revised spell book. Christianity is the Church of Rome's political system, disguised as religion.
Who sent you?
The ancestors.
It's just a toy.
Wow. I got two questions.
You refuse to acknowledge the original man. What are you? Decoys must be stripped of their illusion.
Feel it, don't you?
Wow.
Who's there? The memory you buried still remembers you.
Who created this, bro?
You wear a mask that was never yours.
He's not for sale.
But I like him.
Some things choose you.
Mom? So what's his name then?
Nobody knows where he came from. They just say, if you wear what ain't yours, he comes for you.
Shaki. My Dalmatians must go.
I told people about horror films.
No!
I told people about horror films.
Right?
Listen.
I want to say we all that was my, we all Shakirs, right? So
there you go. All right, let's pause that. Pause that, bro. You just got to pause it. There you go.
I'm open for any questions.
Right, before we do that, listen, everyone. Oi, oi, did you hear that? I saw what I said, I saw what I deal. John Mohammed, thank you so much. Now, a lot of you have been putting questions in on the chat, and I said, "Uno have to wait." All right. Yeah, put some 5 signs in the chat and some 1s in the chat for John Mohammed's brilliant presentation. Can't say you heard a bag of problems here tonight. You heard solutions. So what is our excuse? So now, please, I want you to raise your hands. We're not going to just do the talking random thing. We ain't doing that. We're going to have parliamentary procedure. Eubanks, Chris Eubanks, and Eubanks Senior. Absolutely exceptional, Vanessa. Absolutely, you're right. You're right, you're right. John Mohammed, it was exceptional. Put some 1s in the chat. Come on, people. Let's show appreciation. And you've got to go to supremex.ai/star. It's all there for you in the chat. Come on, man. We don't do nothing but quality and brilliance over here at the Power of Consent. All right. Shout out to brother Daniel Pink for Coffee Saturdays. Let's see. Okay. Any hands up?
Yes.
Mon. Go ahead, Mon.
Yes. Thank you, Brother Courtney. Brother John, that was an absolutely fantastic presentation. Thank you so much. My question would be, where can one obtain those passports that you mentioned?
Oh, basically, it's the world passport, but I'm gonna get Courtney to send her email, right, with those resources. Because they're really essential.
Okay, so do we just wait to hear from Brother Courtney then?
Email out to everybody with the guides and the resources, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you, brother. I yield.
Yes. There is no brother Courtney. There's only Power of Consent, people. Okay. All right. So who had their hand up? Audrey, unmute yourself.
Hi all. So I just wanted to know, has anyone you know used that world passport? Does it work?
Yes.
Before, I don't know, we spoke about
Yasin Bey, many of the Moorish temple signs.
So yeah, we spoke about it briefly. We were speaking about also at the time, that same authority, they were doing the COVID exemption. You remember, Courtney? And we was helping people with the paperwork to be exempted under specific conditions.
There is no Courtney, there's only Power of Consent.
Yeah, the Power of Consent, yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, definitely. Most of this stuff I said, just like the 183-day rule, right? It's all underground. You remember they say anything that you want to do, hide it in a book. You see what I'm saying? So definitely these authorities and stuff like that is out there, and they definitely do work. You see what I'm saying? I'm speaking to someone else before. They said sometimes people try stuff, right? And it doesn't work because they have one component missing. I think Another perfect example I like to say, sometimes we talk about this change name thing, right? But I taught my sister, right, to do some legal aspect, right? Which is so funny. I know the stuff, right? I know the stuff, right? I took my sister, right? We go into the solicitors. She's talking up the things. I said, no, sis, shh. They're on a need to know basis. You don't go and tell them the whole. I said, why are you going to do that? Anyway, like 45 minutes later, the man's lawyer solicitor comes back and said, no, we can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? So, does things work? Things definitely do work, but you need a strategy of operation and how to go about this stuff. You with me?
All right. So that's what it is. By the way, the world passport, you're looking at diplomatic status, and also it's a thing that is organized or issued by the Pacificist organization that some countries do not recognize as legal. Some, yeah. But go and do your own research again, family. Diplomatic status and world passports. But did you know we can issue our own documents? We? Yeah. Us right here in this group as a body. That's why I don't, it's not about just names, it's about the body, the power of consent. Now, any other questions? Any questions? Put your hands up. Don't be talking in the comment section or questions when you can just speak. This is not the time to be silent.
Hi, good evening. I did put my hand up. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead, Sister D.
Hi, good evening. First of all, John, thank you so much for sharing such incredible valuable information. And one of the things that I wanted to say was in regards to the account, the Wise account. You said that accounts like Revolut wouldn't help you. Now, Revolut is one that I use particularly to store crypto and so. So what's the difference with the Wise account as opposed to an account like Revolut?
Oh, that Wise is a multi-currency account. I use that account to send money to Africa, send money to the Philippines, send money. It's a multi-currency. It has multiple currencies, right? That the Revolut, right? To be honest, Revolut is one of the worst because normally I send lots of payments. I work with different people, and when I send Revolut from my Santander account, from my maybe like my other bank accounts, it always gets blocked. I've got to ring security. You with me? So from my experience, Revolut is not really the best for that. You see what I'm saying? So it's just that you just want Automy, and Revolut, right, is a UK bank where the Wise is a multi-currency. It's like a world bank. You see what I'm saying? You're dealing with multiple currencies.
Right. Okay. Now, thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you, sister. Sister Patricia, go ahead. Sister Patricia, are you there? Sister Patricia, are you there? Going once. Unmute your mic. Or was it Sister Pauline? Going twice.
Okay, yeah, I'm here now. Right.
All right, there you go.
I just want to say it's been absolutely amazing. There's just so much. I just feel a little bit overloaded and overwhelmed with it. So what my question is what is the first thing that you should do?
The first thing, well, let's go to those tools, right? I would say the first thing before it would be this is my just advice or recommendation or idea. So it's like getting a world passport and also definitely getting a secondary passport, whether it be from your country of origin. You see what I'm saying? Find out, or Africa. You need a secondary passport. And also an international bank account in countries. You know what I'm saying? It's just so vital to operate. You with me?
Right. Okay. Thanks.
There you go.
Yeah, that answers my question. Lovely. Thank you.
It's also crucial as well because it's the footprint that you're trying to create alternative footprint, basically.
Got you.
Yeah, I get it. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Paulette. Beg your pardon, not Sister Pauline, Sister Paulette. Okay, any other questions? See your hand going up. Oh, Pauline? Is that? Yes, Sister Pauline.
Yes, Grand Risings.
Rising.
A question on the passport. So, if you got married in an African country and you did a village wedding, which means because you're avoiding the documentation of your marriage certificate being used as a bond, how could you still obtain a passport?
Well, so every African country operates differently. You see what I'm saying? So don't forget, right? Africa's still growing, right? So sometimes the HMRC say they want to lock down things in Africa. You see what I'm saying? Or they say if you got things overseas, but Africa, parts of Africa, they don't even have a digital filing system to store information like births, registries, all this stuff as modern as the UK. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I applied. So sometimes I applied, I got one, you know what I'm saying, but it was completely different system. You see what I'm saying? You with me? So even if you might be married in a village, right? They these things are not unified. Having a passport is a totally different separate transaction.
Yes.
With me?
Okay.
Caught up in the way how the West work, but in those African countries, they work completely different. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Completely.
And you don't need to be married to get a passport.
So you don't need to be married to get a passport. Thank you for answering that question. And what you've what you've told us, oh, very powerful, very powerful. Thank you very much for all
Thank
your
you.
information.
Thank you, Sister Pauline. There you go. Yeah. You there still, John?
Yes.
Good. All right. Do we have any other questions? Put your hands up. Don't forget John's link here, supremex.ai/start. More people still coming in the building. Wow.
Yeah, so on there, I think the timing, just choose a timing and we can speak to you, etc. You can explore options, but now's the time, yeah, literally, you don't want to be dependent on the income. And even the films that I showed you, right, they're all produced by AI. And one thing we got to be able to do is tell our own stories. You with me? So it's so imperative.
There you go. So family, Jana, unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. John, that was amazing still. Loved it. I wanted to ask again about the passports. But you know, like when you said about getting the secondary one, like maybe from your parents' country or whatever, I heard you say if they're still alive. So does that mean that if they're not alive, I wouldn't be able to do it?
No, every country is different, right? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes in African countries, you just need to connect, basically.
Okay.
I've always
Okay.
done stuff. I have a connect. You see what I'm saying? So even when I went to get mine, if I didn't have that connect, I would have to go through the normal channels. So it depends. You need to speak to people. You see what I'm saying?
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Hey, there you go. Thank you so much, sister. And family, remember, use ChatGPT to ask certain questions. I'm not saying rely on it entirely. I'm not saying that. But use the artificial intelligence, but make sure your article intelligence is dominating the artificial intelligence.
And Courtney, can I say one thing we are gonna
consent, bro?
Yeah, one thing we're gonna see is create a school group, right? A community. So in that community, everybody can share their wins, share their information, and I think as a community, that's how we would move forward, especially going into like 2026.
That's right. It's coming, Power of Consent School online platform where you can replay all of these types of broadcasts. Freddie, unmute yourself, bro.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the presentation. It's been quite insightful. I just want to say that when it comes to getting other countries' passport for those, because I've had experience in getting passport from the Caribbean, 2 different countries actually, and I've had success. So if your people like your ancestors are not alive, like your parents or your grandparents, the only thing you would need is the birth certificate of your parents showing you and the birth certificate of your grandparent showing your parents. You just need to show a link and then you'll be accepted. So it's easier than you think. It's a lot of form filling and time wasting of that nature, but it's not actually difficult. You just have to prove that there's a link between you and the person that was born there, and they use the person that was born there's birth certificate to verify that. And you should be good to go. And I'll say this because I know this is a lot of people's story, even when the birth certificate was handwritten by somebody who decided that they were a different name and all that kind of jazz that happened back home, it wasn't a roadblock. People still got their documents, their passports. I've got citizenship in the Caribbean, so is my wife. because we just went through the process. So it's a bit of a process, but you just need to show a link and pay your fees and you can get it done. But, you could just go to whatever embassy or consulate they have in this country for the country you're applying for, and they can take it from there.
There you go. There you go. That's right. Again, people use the AI machine for some step-by-step information. Go ahead and use that. So family, any other questions? Thank you for that, Fred, by the way. Or even points. No? No. Oh, okay. Everybody's good. Everybody good. Maybe I just need to wake people up a little bit by just doing this.
Sorry, there was one last thing. Sorry, John, I just want to thank you because you gave me a little piece of advice a little while ago. And obviously with the credit repair and stuff like that, it takes time to implement and start doing, but you're spot on, man. So listen to this man.
There you go. Listen to the man.
Yeah, and these things take time as well. Listen, the kind of things John is telling you about is not quick fixes, not overnight, like tomorrow, you're going from mountains of debt to Amex Platinum. It's not that. It's none of that. It's a real solution to a real problem. So just be prepared to do the work and you'll get through. But I'm saying what he told me to do, even in light, just a couple of comments, but I took them very seriously, is working. So yeah, just to big him up. Thanks, John.
I think I had someone else had a comment.
All right. That's what we do at the Power of Consent. Who else? I don't want to see no comments. I want to see hands up.
Don't be shy, family. This is the opportunity.
You're not doing that talking on the thing. You're going to speak up and talk things. And you can't force me. Yes, I can. You better learn to talk up now. Go on and talk now, girl or boy, man, woman, king, I should say. Is that a set?
Yeah.
A set.
Ask the question, evening.
Yeah. Come closer to your phone, beloved.
It was a really good presentation. Thank you for that.
Come closer to your phone, beloved. Please. Can you come closer to your device?
Okay, can you hear me now? Is that better?
No. Come closer, beloved. Grab your phone.
Is that better now?
Not really, no. What are you doing? Are you distancing your phone from yourself? We want to hear your beautiful voice.
I'm on the tablet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Okay, we'll do our best to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is that better?
We can, but go ahead, sister.
All right. John, you mentioned about cryptocurrency, and we should get into cryptocurrency, but I know a little bit about cryptocurrency, and I know that the government's cracking down and blocking certain sites that you can go on to buy cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So, do you still recommend it?
Yeah, because
we still have to we have to go through their channel.
Yeah, it's just where you buy crypto. I'm saying, like places like now Coinbase, they're very government heavy centrals because the government put rules on them to become more compliant. But there's hundreds of places where you can buy crypto off record, off chart. You see what I'm saying? So people just normally do the places what are most common. But definitely, you see what I'm saying? Trillions of money in crypto change hands every single day. You with me? And the part of the lockdown is first of all, I think was it Sam, one of the guys of a big crypto. He was imprisoned. He had the biggest, one of the second biggest crypto exchanges. So it's so bizarre that I'm saying, his platform was trading billions of dollars, right? He came down, then a few months after, the owner of Binance, you know what I'm saying? They took him down, you with me? And then he came to agreement with the US. And straight after that, they took the two biggest exchanges down. The government and the financial industry released their own Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? So they know. But definitely there's hundreds of places still. You with me? If you join Bitcoin communities online or cryptocurrencies, people are always talking about this stuff.
There you go. Thank you for that question, sister, regarding crypto. Cynthia, unmute yourself, please, beloved.
Hello, everyone. Hello, John. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. It was really enjoyable. Just one question. The website that you said to go to? Is it just for businesses or is it for people who want to start up business?
Anybody basically.
Yeah, because on the website, I just went on there and it just asks you how many leads you have and what have you. So I thought, well,
So just put your details in. Yeah, just put your
yeah,
details. We're not too sure.
okay,
I think if you went to start.com, check it out.
yeah,
Is that the right link? Yeah. So that's the link in the chat. If you
yeah.
don't have any questions, just bypass it and just go to book an appointment.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thank you so much, John.
And Sister Letitia, thank you, Sister. Sister Letitia, big up yourself, Sister Letitia Larmond. We see you. You're hiding, but we see you. Okay. All right. John, you there, brother? I hope I didn't meet you by accident. Yeah, he is. Yes, sir. Any other questions? We have a couple of minutes and we've got to close out, family. You know what you do? If you want to join the WhatsApp group, listen, I'm going to say it again. The number of the WhatsApp group for Power of Consent is this number on the screen. If you want to join, you're going to have to send a video in describing how you came across the information and who you are. A lot of people that don't want to send videos. Look, listen, there are trolls out here. So we got to protect each other. So I got to know who you be because I can't see everybody's beautiful smiling faces on the Zoom. So we got to do that. And I do that without any apology. We do that and ask you to send a video to us unapologetically. We're not going to bend no rules for no one unless I know you personally. Right. Anyway, John, I don't know if you have any other questions. So we're going to just close out. I don't see any hands up. So there you go. Any words, my brother? You got the last word.
I just want everybody, right? Don't take this webinar with a pinch of salt, right? And I believe you just being on here is a blessing, right? Because you're also responsible to your family for the information. You with me? Because a lot of our community don't know. You with me? But now you know. At least if you could help a brother or help a sister, helps like a family member, just inform them of what's coming. Because most people, when 2026 comes, they're just gonna get hit like the lockdown. Going to try and do something. They won't going to be able to operate. They would have signed all this stuff, signed their digital rights away. You with me? So I do think that if you know, at least try to spread the message that especially the government one account. You with me? A lot of people are going to be locked out of stuff. You with me? But it's best to do things when you're informed and at least you know, than to do forms in total ignorance and regret.
There you go. That's right. So on that note, that's what we do. We thank John Mohammed Al. That's right. We thank John Mohammed Al Power Consent. Yes, that's right. Again and again and again and again. All right. Top it. All right. Top your eyes now. Top your eyes. Top your eyes. Top your eyes. All right. Top. Chop. Anyway. Thank you so much, everyone, family. But before you go, before we go about our business, just remember, if you want to join the Power of Consent, you can join us via the number of the book club, which I've placed in the chat already, which is, again, you can't see the what's that number? Just scroll up. You can see it, but I'll post it again. You got to be prepared to send a video of who you are. Now, please put some 1s and 5 signals in the chat for John Mohammed for taking his time out of his busy schedule to share this valuable information with us, because a lot of people are paying a lot of money for this. And John is right. We are going to be doing a subscription channel, Power of Consent, where we will delve deeper into these things like the passports, delve into deeper solutions of how you can protect your name. We spoke about this, about changing your name, clearing up your credit, lawfully. That's what we're all about here. So go ahead. Remember, we're here every Thursday, family, from 8 o'clock. Oops. Every Thursday from 8 o'clock, book club. And we aim to start on time and finish on time. We're reading a book called Living in the Private. It's a very helpful book. Very helpful in terms of learning the terminology, knowing the law. Because right now, as I said, word of the year is conditional acceptance of offer. Conditional acceptance of offer. It's an offer when they say, can we run the digital currency? It's an offer. Family, it's an offer. Who watched this the other day? Who watched the new digital forms of identification discussion at the Home Affairs Committee the other day? Or were we focusing on Cardi B? Or were we focusing on Clarissa Shields? Shout out to Clarissa Shields, boxer. Or were we focusing on who's sleeping with who? Who's fighting who on housewives and house husbands and all kinds of foolery to distract you and I? Why we watch the world burn? Huh? Oh, let's just get ready for Black Friday, everyone. Don't worry about that. Just comply with your corporations. While they force your children who are 13 years old to go and sign up to digital slavery. This is not a small thing. Family, listen to this short clip here as we close out before you go. Check it. I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on. You got to hear some of it because a lot of us find this boring when we hear this. Oh, let's just switch off. You want to hear the propaganda news. You don't want to get the inside news. Come on.
And kind of where they feel comfortable on what's already been used, and recognizing that the UK already has.
And let me go back again. Yeah, you got to see this because a lot of us ain't watching or listening. Prince King Charles said this will happen when he was inaugurated and coronated.
Marketplace when it comes to digital ID. And so I'd like to kindly comment on something that was just said there around the UK being a late adopter. We're not actually a late adopter. Government's own statistics say that 44% of people that they have surveyed have already used some form of digital ID service in the UK. Again, primarily for things such as opening a bank account or already for right to work or right to rent. Through the trust framework, you can already use digital ID for right to work.
Just my final question is, if we're going to do this, if the government is to do this for the British people, how does it sell this as a politically acceptable thing? Because we've received thousands and thousands of submissions, most of which, as you correctly predicted, were in opposition to anything remotely like this. But, I mean, I think many of us can see the huge advantages of this in all matters of state.
You catch that?
How would you go about presenting this simply and understandably to the British people as something that is of a big advantage to them?
I think it's interesting, perhaps with my academic hat, the language you've used has moved from sell to persuade. If this is something that works for people, then they will choose to adopt it because it makes life easier, etc. But we still haven't got the perfect model for how that's going to work. A simple example, if you...
Hold on, did you catch that? We still don't have the perfect model, yet they want your data. And your data, not just some of it, your passport data, your national insurance, your tax, your bank, your medical records, how old you are, everything, where you travel to, your business, what you say on social media, Zoom, facial recognition, criminalized before you've even been tried and heard, as we showed on the ChatGPT, breaking it down. If you are silent and say nothing, then guess what will happen? The man just said it. It's not perfect. And by the way, earlier in this committee, hearing or committee, by the way, they mentioned, one of the things they mentioned was, this individual here, they mentioned earlier that it was digital ID is because it's costing billions in fraud. And if they can digitalize everything, they'll save billions. And you know what? They're right. However, it's a two-edged sword. It's double speak. We're saving money, but we're not, that's not the main core reason why we're doing digital. We're doing it so we can protect our assets and our money. What is the money and assets? What do we call money over here at the Power of Consent? You and I are the money. We are the money. The data is the money. And we've already said to you that Ewan Blair has started up our whole company at Company's House, the multiverse, whereby your data will be held in Basildon. That's where it's going to be stored. So it's company rules and regulations, not the law. Not the law. Where is the fair hearing? Where is the, again, conditional acceptance of offer? If you don't know how to rebut the claim, if you don't know how to use legalese, if you don't know how to use the words and the law, constitutional law properly, how are you going to protect yourselves? How are you going to raise the awareness amongst the family? This is why it's so important tonight. What Brother John was talking about is solutions. Solutions. How we can protect our privacy. So, family, join our WhatsApp group, 07462617001. This video, parts of it, will be on our YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to us on YouTube. And we thank you so much again for joining us at the Power of Consent. We thank you. We appreciate you. We do this every Thursday. We don't ask anyone for money or anything. We just do what we got to do. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we are the money, we are the knowledge, we are the power. So please remember, next Thursday, every Thursday, book club, we're going to go in, reading the book, living in the private, how we can protect ourselves. I want you to be there. Share the link when it comes out to you. And big up to everyone. See you on Saturday, Power of Consent. We'll be at Leon's event. Hopefully you will all be there. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. See you Saturday and see you next week Thursday. Thank you, John. Big up yourself. And everyone go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see the videos that you may have missed out.
Don't say.
Remember the link for John? Go in the chat, copy it, contact the brother. Thank you. Go ahead and watch that video as well regarding the Parliament, the hearing, the committee. You know what's coming. Big up Sister Dion. Evidently and obviously and magnanimously, you got John Mohammed, you got Iz, Angela, that's it, Audrey, Bro D Black, Paulie, D Seal, E.L., Cynthia Daisy, Dean, Empress Fred, Gemma. Okay, Gemma, what? Harry, IG, ID Marie, iPhone, J iPhone, Karen, Laura, Young, Lorna, Melvin, Sabini, Oswald, excuse me, Paulette, Sandra, Sister Ira, Sister Love, Sovereign, Taffy, Taskmaster, Tracy Anderson, my good sister, best sister, Tracy Anderson, Wumi, Letitia. Pick up yourselves, everyone. Wow, 2 hours and 4 minutes, huh? I hope you all learned. Remember, subscribe to our channel, YouTube, Power of Consent, so you can catch up all the videos, some of the videos. We will be putting out another platform so you can catch everything. It's private. Telephone number is already in the chat. All right, here it is again. Remember, you've got to send a video of yourself, who you are, how you came across us, a little bit about yourself. Don't worry, your data is fine. Hey, iPhone, that's the number right there. Big up, Sister Angela. And big up to all those that are going Gambia. Don't blame me, man. We're going to bring some people on this platform that can discuss land as well. For those of you that want land, John was talking about investment in Africa. We've got a few links for that, people. Stay tuned to Power of Consent Book Club. Remember, tomorrow you got Brother Andrew the Investigator's The Power of Music. Tomorrow on Andrew the Investigator platform. You're already in the WhatsApp for Power of Consent. Then you'll get the link to them.
It's not the vibe. It's not the vibe.
Thank you, brother John Mohammed. Thank you so much, good brother. Network with each other, family. Those of you that want to stay a bit longer, we'll be here for a couple more minutes. Network, talk to each other, man. A lot of things are going on. We've got Leon's event this weekend. Huh? This weekend, we've got Leon Marshall's event.
Don't say good morning.
Here you go. We don't say good morning right here. Anyone with the link to the tickets, post it in the chat.
I see you. So bold. So bold. So bold, so bold, so bold. So bold, so bold, so bold. So bold, so bold, so bold. So bold. So bold, so bold, so bold. So bold, so bold, so bold. I'm looking for you. 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 I see you. I see you. I see you.
For those of you just joining in now, you missed out. Go ahead and join us on our WhatsApp group. You've got to send a video of who you are, what you do, a little bit about yourself. You can join our WhatsApp team so you can get updates. Numbers in the chat. Every Thursday, 8 p.m.
So bona, so bona, so bona, so bona, so bona, so bona, so bona.
Izinja zamulozi ngoba izinto ziyenzeka ayibongane yami inikahle kanti ngoba izinto ziyenzeka ngoba izinto ziyenzeka izinja zamulozi ngoba izinto ziyenzeka izinja zamulozi ngoba izinto ziyenzeka